Hi everybody, I'm Kathleen Byram, and I'd like to talk about the secret language of colors with you tonight. How the world rewires your brain. Imagine looking up at a clear afternoon sky and not having a word for what you see. To a modern viewer, that sounds impossible. It's blue. But if you could hop into a time machine and travel back to ancient Greece, you'd discover something shocking. To Homer and his contemporaries, the concept of blue didn't really exist. In the Odyssey, Homer describes famously the ocean as the wine-dark sea. He describes oxen as wine-colored. For centuries, scholars were baffled. Was Homer colorblind? Were the Aegean waters vastly different back then? The answer is much more fascinating. It turns out that across human history, languages invent names for colors in a specific universal order. And until a culture names a color, its people actually struggle to notice it. The evolution of seeing. William Gladstone, a 19th century scholar who later became the British Prime Minister, meticulously counted every color mentioned in the Odyssey. Black was mentioned nearly 200 times, white about 100, red was used 15, and yellow and green fewer than 10. Blue, not once. Later, a philologist named Lazarus Geiger studied ancient texts from across the globe, from Icelandic sagas and Vedic hymns to ancient Chinese stories and the Hebrew Bible. He found the exact same pattern everywhere. Language after language developed color words in this strict, predictable sequence. First, black and white. Humans split the world into dark and light. Second, red, the color of blood and fire. It is always the third color named. 3, yellow and green, the colors of life, earth, and vegetation. 4, blue, the absolute last color to arrive in almost every major language. Why blue? Because outside of the sky, which isn't a physical object you can hold, true blue is incredibly rare in nature. There are a few blue animals. Blue plants are rare, and blue eyes are relatively recent genetic mutation. That's interesting. Blue eyes are a relatively recent genetic mutation. Until the ancient Egyptians figured out how to manufacture blue dye, humans didn't need a word for it. It was simply lumped in with shades of green or dark gray. If you don't have a word, can you see it? This raises a mind-bending question. If your language doesn't have a word for color, are you physically blind to it? In 2006, scientists traveled to Namibia to study the Himba tribe. In the Himba language, there is no separate word for blue. It falls under the same category as green. Researchers showed tribe members a circle of 11 green squares and one distinctly blue square. To a Western eye, the blue square jumped off the screen. But the Himba struggled. It took them much longer and many errors to pick out the square that was different. But here's the twist. The Himba have many distinct words for different shades of green that Westerners lump together. When researchers showed them a circle of green squares where one was just a fractionally a fractionally different stage, the Himba spotted it instantly. Westerners couldn't see the difference at all. Your language quite literally tunes your brain to notice specific frequencies of reality. The hidden psychology in modern life. Today we have all the color words we could ever want, but corporations and designers use them to speak to our subconscious minds without us ever realizing it. The fast food appetite trigger. Have you ever noticed how many fast food chains use red and yellow? McDonald's, Burger King, Wendy's, In-N-Out, Carl's Jr. Red excites the nervous system and raises blood pressure, while yellow is associated with happiness and speed. Together they trigger a psychological sense of urgency and hunger. The corporate trust blue. Why are Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter originally? Chase, Bank, and Ford all blue? Because blue is universally associated with stability, logic, and calm. It is the color that screams, you can trust us with your data and your money. The high-end luxury black. Black used to just mean darkness or mourning. Today, it's the ultimate sign of premium quality and sophistication. Think Chanel, Apple's high-end tech, or black credit cards. It implies that the product doesn't need loud colors to grab your attention. Colors aren't just visual traits. They are a language of survival, culture, and deep psychological manipulation. The next time you look at a blue sky, remember that to your ancestors, you are looking at a miracle that they literally didn't have the words to describe. Thank you for listening. I'm Kathleen Byram, the author of Conversations with Donkey, A Bipolar Journey. Thanks for being here. Bye-bye.